Let's build a business based on H2H, not B2B, but human-to-human sales and marketing automation. A human approach is the only one that sells.
Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. And straight from Inbound 2025, I'm speaking with HubSpot Evangelist, HubSpot Academy guru, someone who I admire, but someone who everyone's actually looking when is actually into the HubSpot ready. So, Kyle Jepson, welcome to the show, Kyle.
Thanks for having me.
Kyle, many changes, 200 plus updates, lots of things happening around. Education. The question is educating prospect still intact, or everything should do AI? What is your take on this?
Well, I mean, a lot of the foundations are, I was going to say a lot of the foundations are staying the same, but actually a lot of foundations are changing too. If you think about marketing, we've talked about inbound marketing for as long as HubSpot has existed. And this year at Inbound, Yamini introduced loop marketing, which is a new approach because the reality is just having content on your website doesn't work the way it used to, with AI mediating a lot of searches now. And so, there are a lot of things that need to change. If you're talking about just using HubSpot, especially if you're a sales team, I think that is very much the same still. Sales Hub has a lot of new features, but there's no reason you have to start your sales process over and redefine it. I think a lot of it can just be added on top of whatever you're doing. There's a lot of AI tools and things you can insert into your existing process.
So let's talk about the education. So traditionally, obviously, Inbound was to educating the prospect. So it is the way of pulling the contact in, maybe filling the form, then just going through some kind of journey in terms of the B2B. What has changed?
Well, now, a lot of people, when they search, they don't visit a website. If they do a Google search, they just read the AI summary and they don't click on any links, or they just ask Perplexity or ChatGPT a question and it answers it and they don't visit a website. And so I think what is different now with education is instead of writing content, hoping that people will visit your website and will somehow get from your blog post to your pricing page and buy something from you, you need to become an authoritative source that when the AI looks for an answer to a question, will say, wow, this company knows what they're talking about, right? And they will cite you as a source, and they might even mention your name, right? If the question is, what is the best, manufacturing company in this particular area, you need to build a trustworthiness and authority in that way. And so it's an interesting new way to think about what content does.
So in terms of the content, if you would say now is the time to do what? Obviously, the other past 10 years, everyone was talking about the blog posts, about, educating. Now, obviously, we're moving into the more video and so on. If you would say, let's stick with the manufacturing business, what would you say to them? How would you say, how to educate prospect in 2025 and beyond?
Yeah, so I think it's really important to have a very clear point of view and an opinion on the right way for people to work in your industry. So if you are, I guess we'll stick with manufacturing as an example. I don't know very much about manufacturing, but if you have clearly articulated viewpoints about the right way to manufacture, the best processes to use, the way to be more efficient or whatever, you need to have that information certainly on your website, but you also need to be active out in other parts of the internet. You need to be posting on social. You need to be if there are industry forums where people are discussing questions, you need to be sharing your expertise in a variety of locations, because what will build your authority with AI answers is if they see you have a website and they see, you posted this thing on Reddit, and over here on social media, people are talking about you too. Then they will start, if somebody says, who is the most trusted manufacturer in, Norway or whatever, it'll look around and be like, wow, all over the internet, people are talking about this one. And so it's really about diversifying your channels and getting content in more places on the internet.
No, this is amazing. I think this is a fantastic opportunity for everyone to actually be there and do not worry about one place and waiting too much time for content approvals, for content creation. Let's do the job. So you make sure that when clients is prompting you, you're always being recommended.
Yeah, and this is an interesting thing too. You mentioned going faster, and I think that is important. I think a lot of people are misunderstanding the way to use AI to go faster. They think, oh, AI, just write me a blog post and I'll publish it, right? And it won't be good. It won't have any insights. It won't see anything unique. What you need to do is spend time really crafting your viewpoint, your tone of voice, the way you explain information, and then you can use AI based on that to produce things more quickly. But if you skip that step, if you don't have a clear identity as an organization, what your mission is, who your customers are, then the AI will just produce very bland, very generic content that will not appeal to anyone, and not humans, not AI, not anybody.
I think someone mentioned at one of the presentations, AI without strategy is just a spam.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that just opens up. So, couple of more questions. I know you're busy. So I want to promote HubSpot Academy, obviously. This is something that, you're passionate about.
Yep.
You always talk about. Tell us a bit about the audience. Obviously, education is now the key. So we are changing and pivoting our businesses. We are looking at the places where human plays the role, but also looking for some, roles of agents. And this is massive education. We need to pivot. We need to change the leadership, how leaders in organization, like in manufacturing, they change the way they operate. What's the HubSpot Academy proposing? What is in there that you could recommend everyone to go for?
Yeah. So, I think the Monday after Inbound ends, we are launching a course called Building an AI Leading Organization, I think is what it's called. Something like that. And that is our recommendation of how to think about incorporating AI into your strategy. Because there are, as I was kind of hinting, there are things you should use AI for, and there are things you should not use AI for. And understanding what you can outsource to AI and go faster on, and what you need to own and really craft as an organization of people, I think is going to be a key strategy going forward.
Fantastic. Highly recommended. So we're going to link up links to all the Academy courses that will going to be run after the Inbound. Fantastic. Let's our listeners to do the job. And so a little bit of your story, reflecting on obviously HubSpot Academy and so on. Tell us a little bit of story, how you ended up to actually be Academy teacher.
Yeah, for sure. So when I first finished my university studies, I got a job on a sales team at a software company, and it was terrible. I was very bad at it.
No AI.
No AI. Well, and also just a very bad approach. My job was to cold call all day.
Oh.
And I was just cold calling. All I had was a phone number and a name. I didn't know anything about these people. And a lot of them I should not have been calling. I was selling software for apartment complexes to manage their tenants. And I would sometimes call people and we'd have a confusing conversation. They would say, I'm just renting here. I don't own this complex. It was a really miserable sales experience.
Right.
But I stayed with that company for a while. I got to do some account management. I got to do some technical support. Eventually, I moved to Boston to further my studies. I thought I was going to be a university professor. But after being in kind of the fast-paced technology space, going into higher education felt very rigid and very slow to me. And so I didn't stick with it. But in Boston, I discovered HubSpot, and I got hired there on a support team. And I discovered they had this thing called HubSpot Academy, where they provided education. And so I joined up there, and my first job was to build things like the Inbound Sales Certification and the HubSpot Sales Software Certification. And I discovered there were a lot of salespeople out in the world who had jobs like me, where it's just terrible, awful work, where you're spamming, you're cold calling, you're not providing value to anyone.
Fantastic.
And there is a better way. There's a right way to do sales that will actually help your business grow, that will help customers love you instead of hate you. And it was just, I was so excited for this opportunity to tell people, hey, it doesn't have to be this way. We can do it differently, right? There's an alternative approach to sales. And so I've been at HubSpot Academy 9 years now. For a long time, I was doing sales education. Now I'm HubSpot's first evangelist, which means I'm focused much more. HubSpot Academy is primarily pre-recorded videos. Now I do a lot of live webinars, a lot of social media, and still just trying to get people excited about using HubSpot.
I mean, many people will resonate with what we are discussing here. Not spamming, cold calling. This is just old-fashioned way of doing things, especially within AI, when we can be more personalized with intent and be human, really.
Yeah.
And as a final word, this channel is called H2H Sales Automation. top tip for our listeners, how to be a human in AI world?
Well, I think it's a great time to be a human. I think now is a time where your experiences and your point of view matter more than ever, because AI knows a lot of information, but it doesn't have any life experiences. It doesn't have any opinions or viewpoints. And so you can say, based on my experience, I have tried this thing, it didn't work. I've tried this other thing, it did work. Here's what I suggest you should do. Whereas AI can only package together things other people have said. And so I think really thinking about your own experience, thinking about what you're learning, thinking about the opportunities you perceive, and finding ways to share that with others is going to be more and more important as we move forward.
And that was, everyone, Kyle Jepson at HubSpot here in Inbound in San Francisco. Kyle, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Let's build a business based on H2H, not B2B, but human-to-human sales and marketing automation. A human approach is the only one that sells.